made. We won't be the same. Don't you call me up, 'cause we badly need this change. Maybe I'm all out of hope. Could I find it when I go? Think we're only here to stay alive now. Funny, we ran out of kicks.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Mindful Melbourne Maker podcast. My name is Kath and I'm a knitter, knitwear designer and all-around maker living in Melbourne, Australia. You can find me on Instagram as Mindful Melbourne Maker and on Ravelry as kathsmartin, and you can find my knitwear patterns for sale on Ravelry under kathsmartin designs. This is my YouTube channel where I share all about the things that I've been making and generally bring podcast episodes. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you are here watching this video, this is episode 4 of my 4-part series on the mystery knit-along, the Westknits mystery knit-along for 2025, which was the mystery MusiKAL shawl. So if you haven't watched the first 3 videos, go and watch those. So the link for that is here. But yes, this is the 4th video. So this is all about clue 4 and the finished shawl, which is very exciting. So the Westknits mystery knit-along is, as you will know, the shawl knit-along where you don't know what you're knitting. You just follow the clues and you have faith in Stephen West and his designs. And it's been a really, really fun year, and I'm pleased to say that I have finished clue 4, finished the whole shawl, ends are woven in, the shawl is blocked. So we're going to talk about clue 4 today and all of the fun that was clue 4. But before we get into that, I thought we'd just take a bit of a speedy trip down memory lane, and I thought I'd show you a quick peek at all of the mystery knit-along shawls, the Stephen West mystery knit-along shawls that I have knitted in the past, because I thought that would be a little bit of fun. Now, some of them I have knit as part of the mystery knit-along process. So I started in 2022 knitting along to the MKALs during the mystery time, but I've also knit 3 of the previous mystery knit-along shawls put out by Stephen West since 2022, because I really enjoyed that process, and so I wanted to go back and knit the old shawls as well. So I thought I'd show you in date order in terms of their release, so not in terms of the order I've knit them. So 2017 was the Mild Magic shawl, and I have actually showed you this shawl if you've been watching this series in episode 1. So if you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch it, but I'll show it quickly now so that you can see them all together. So this is the Mild Magic shawl, and this was the mystery knit-along shawl in 2017. So as I've said before, a really, really interesting modular design. It's a DK weight shawl, so it's fingering weight held double or fingering weight held with mohair, and a lot of fun. It's a really scrappy project, so it's really interesting in that way. And that is my Mild Magic shawl from 2017. So 2019 is the next one that I've done, and I think quite a few people have done this one. This is my Starflake. So here is my Starflake shawl. This was absolutely one of my favorites to knit. I think probably not the favorite, but one of my favorites. So it's got lots of brioche, lots of texture, lots of fun. I knit it in 2 colors, and the pink was from Woolen Works. It was a Barbie colorway, and the speckle color, I can't recall. I think the speckle colour was actually 3 Cats yarn from Australia as well. So that's my Starflake shawl, and this shawl was the mystery knit-along in 2019. Moving on. My very favourite shawl of all of the mystery knit-alongs to knit was actually the 2021 shawl. I didn't knit this along with at the time it was released. I knit it a couple of years ago, but it was absolutely my favorite so far to knit, and that is shawlography. So my shawlography looks like this, and it is beautiful. I knit this up in Fibresmith yarn. So Fibresmith is a local dyer to me, and it is absolutely one of my favorite color combos. It's one of my favorites in terms of all the stitches, and it's one of my favorites in terms of the process. It was a lot of fun, and this border was one of my absolute favorite things to knit. So shawlography, that's from 2021, and that one's there. So that one's a lot of fun as well. So now we're getting to the ones that I have knit as part of the knit-alongs. So my very first foray into the Stephen West MKAL world was Twists and Turns, and that was in 2021. So as you know, with the knit-alongs, the mystery knit-alongs that I do, where I'm knitting along with everyone else, I tend to pick a theme, and my colorways are inspired by that theme. So this was the first year I did that. This colorway, at the time I was watching House of Dragon, and I was very inspired by the House of Targaryen in House of Dragon, and the colorways that come with the Targaryen sort of household. And so my Twists and Turns is, I made it with Prosper yarn, so that's a New Zealand company, but I got it at MKAL, which is one of my local yarn stores. And this is my Twists and Turns. And so it's got the red and the black and then the white, which was, I think, the blonde hair of the Targaryens. I absolutely loved this shawl. I loved making it, although Clue 1 was an exercise in patience. But I think a lot of people had different views about the shape of this. I really loved it, particularly because I had the House of Dragon theme. So it almost even looks like dragon wings and dragon teeth. And I just thought it was really, really reminiscent. And I did all of the cable details. And it's a really, really beautiful shawl. And it's really fun to wear. I actually do wear this one quite a bit. So this was my Twists and Turns from 2022. Next was the 2023 Geo Gradient shawl. So this one I used the Barbie movie theme because that had just come out. We loved that movie, and I had all the bright pinks, so I was very inspired by that movie. And this is my Geo Gradient shawl from 2023. And so I used yarn from Blackwattle, which is Blackwattle Yarn and Fibre, which is an alpaca farm in the Australian Capital Territory near Canberra. And all of their the yarn was sweet pea based, so it's a single ply and it's got lots of silk and things in it, so it's really, really beautiful. And this was my Geo Gradient. This was not my favorite. This was potentially my least favorite to knit. Because it was very tedious. It had lots of the same on one side and then the other, and it had lots of slip stitches and things that went really, really slowly, so that you felt like you were just knitting forever. But I think the outcome and the final product is really striking. So although it was a bit painful to knit, it actually is a shawl I really enjoy wearing, and it's really, really pretty. So that was 2023. 2024 was Go Go Dynamo. So the Go Go Dynamo shawl was last year's, and my theme for this one, we were watching the TV show Rings of Power at the time. So this was very much inspired by the teals and silver and white, that if you watch that show, what you actually start to notice is there is a lot of those colors that come through, especially with Galadriel and all of the elves, and I just thought that was really, really beautiful. So my Go Go Dynamo, yes, Go Go Dynamo is here, and this was also a really fun, really beautiful shawl from last year. But what I did with this one that you may or may not be able to see is I put a lot of silver and gold thread through or yarn through and held it double. And so this shawl actually shines and shimmers as I wear it, because it's got all of the sort of glittery gold and silver, which I thought in terms of the theme was very much like the jewelry and the mithril and all those things that are in Rings of Power. So yeah, that was a really fun one, and I really enjoyed my process. Oh, my yarn that I used for this one was Hodgepodge Skeins. So Kaz from Hodgepodge sent me, or I purchased from Kaz, the teal and the white, and it was just a beautiful two color shawl. And then I got the Stellaris, Creme Key Stellaris gold and silver thread from Maker. So yeah, so that one was a lot of fun as well. So then back to this year's mystery shawl. So this year, Mystery MusiKAL, as you know, I had my Wicked theme, so I'll pop the inspiration pic there for the theme. So this year was all about the Wicked movies and musical, but really the movie photos were my inspiration for the shawl. So my colours were picked from those photos, and so some people have said, oh, I was wondering whether you'd put black in the shawl as well, because you know the witch's dress and hat and everything, and I don't think I could think of anything worse than trying to knit with black yarn in a mystery knit along. I think the added complication and pressure of that would just be probably too much. So yeah, I avoided black, but I went with 2 colours of green and 2 colours of pink. So I'll just remind you of my colours. I purchased my yarn from Ashen Eve Designs from Susan, and she had reached out with the perfect colours that matched my theme. So I had the really light pink here, got the lovely deeper pink, though still it's quite a light pink, but if you look at the inspiration photos, that's what it is in the photo. Then we've got the greens, and then the darker greens, which were sort of my way to evoke that deeper color without going black. So yeah, so those were my 4 colors. So as you can see, that's the yarn I have left. So I still have quite a bit. I wasn't playing yarn chicken. The pink is probably the one I used the most of, and I've still got that amount left, which looks like around less than 10 grams, but probably no less than 8, I reckon. I also had 3 different mohairs that I used. So 2 that I purchased from Susan from Ashen Eve, so they match exactly my yarn colors. So those were the 2 kind of mohair dare options I had. But then I also, when Clue 1 came out and I saw that I was going to use this color for my welts, I added in quite a bright green mohair that was from Maximoo yarns. So I also had this as one of my mohair dares. And then you will have seen last week, for a bit of fun and sort of reminiscent of the crown and the scepter in the inspiration pic, I also added in, like last year, some of the Kremke Stellaris in the silver. So just a little bit, but you'll see in Clue 4 that I also used it in there. So let me show you my finished shawl, and then we can talk through Clue 4. So I've blocked it and I wove in all the ends, so it's all finished. So I'll show you it here. So here it is. It's a really great shape, and it blocked out absolutely huge. So here it is. It is so pretty. Love it. So I'll put some footage in too, because I took some footage so that you can see the whole thing, because it is very big. But yeah, I'll show you again. So we've got Clue 1 is the scallops, so that's this bit up here, and that was all modular knitting. It was a bit fiddly, bit of a nightmare, my least favorite clue, if I'm honest, but it had some fun bits and each scallop was pretty small in and of itself. So there were some quick wins, but definitely my least favorite. Then we had the joy that was clue 2. Clue 2 was endless waves of garter, and so it was mostly garter. There were some eyelets and there were some wave situations happening, so some increases and decreases to create the beautiful shapes. But those waves were so much fun, and I got to see all the colors evenly. Got to marl some mohair for my eyelets, which was really fun. So clue 2 was a delight. Not my favorite clue though, because clue 3, I have to say, was my favorite. Now this is potentially a controversial opinion, because I've heard some people say they didn't like clue 3. They think clue 3 doesn't really fit with the rest of the shawl, which I can kind of see. I can appreciate that perspective. I love it, however, and I love how different all the pieces of the shawl are, and that together it sort of tells a story. It's very, it's not symmetrical. It's very striking in quite divergent ways, which I think is, you know, that's really interesting. So clue 3 was this section here, which was a really fun section, lots of garter but lots of changing colors. And then it was also this section here, which was slip stitches, which gives this really fun kind of brick texture. So that was a lot of fun as well. So that was clue 3, and that's where we left off last time. So then clue 4. Clue 4, I think you'll recall clue 3 I finished, I think, on the Sunday after clue 4 had come out. So I'd seen clue 4, I think when it came out, I skipped to the end of the video and went, oh my god, because it's just a border of brioche for as far as the eye can see, brioche. And I just thought, oh my god. But I do love brioche, so you know, it's good. But I was still working through clue 3 at the time when I saw it. So I worked through clue 3, I finished clue 3 on I think about the Sunday. So on Monday night, I thought, right, I finished a full day of work, was really busy, and I thought, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to download clue 4, I'm going to start clue 4, make a start on it, see how I go. I tried to download clue 4. I don't know if you were trying to download things last Monday from Ravelry, but it was not working. There was some sort of error in the downloading and nothing was downloading, nothing was working. Thank goodness for my chat group that we have with so many people in there. It's just been an inspiration and really fun to knit along with everyone. But also when there was a couple of us trying to download the clue on the Monday night, none of us could do that. So thankfully, I think it was Wendy, thank you Wendy, and also thank you to Sylvia who flicked me the clue. Wendy took a screenshot of the first page so that we could make a start, because we couldn't download the clue, which was a bit annoying. But once I had the clue, thank you, I made a start. And of course it's, you know, the entire length of the shawl. So we've got all the stitches happening. I think at that stage it was 400 something, almost 500, and by the end with all the increases it was well into the 500s. But yeah, so every row really long and yeah, essentially 3 sections of 2 color brioche. So we've got it there, 3 sections of 2 color brioche, worked out so that you know how much you're using of each color. You can make sure you've got enough. And then in between each section of brioche, there's a little reverse stockinette kind of ridge, essentially. And then there was an I-cord bind-off, which is a very classic Stephen West bind-off. Love an I-cord bind-off. So in terms of choosing my colors, what you'll see is that I picked out the colors I had the most of, and I used that for the outside 2, like the first and the last section, but I reversed the order. So in the first one, I had the light pink on top and the dark green behind. And then on the last section I had the dark green on top and the light pink behind. And in the middle I had the darker pink and the lighter green together, which worked really nicely. And what you may or may not be able to see is that in the ridge there, what I did was I held more of the silver thread with the light pink yarn just to give the border a little bit of bling, because why not? So yeah, so that was the brioche. So I got through that. I think each section of brioche took 2 to 3 days. So from last Monday. But by the end I was kind of getting that down to 1 to 2 days because I wanted to get it done. I was motivated. I smashed through. And then we got to the I-cord bind off. So I was ready to start the I-cord bind off at the beginning of Tuesday, which if you're in Melbourne Cup Day, which is a public holiday. So we had the day off from work and I thought I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this I-cord bind off, which I did. I got it done. It was sort of 3.5 hours, I think. But yeah, I got it done on the day. And before I stood up, I finished my last stitch on the I-cord bind off, and I thought I'm not allowed to stand up from this couch until I weave in all my ends. So I did that. I wove in all my ends before I allowed myself to get up, because I knew if I got up I would not weave in those ends. But yeah, and it was done. So what did I do for the I-cord bind off? So I went up for the rest of my shawl. I was using a 3.75 millimeter needle, which I think is a US 5. For the I-cord bind off, I held, you'll see it has a beautiful halo. I held fingering weight with mohair for the I-cord bind off. So I held the two darker pinks together because I really wanted the I-cord bind off to be nice and full. And I went up to a 4 millimeter needle, so that's a US 6. So yeah, so that is nice and stretchy. It blocked out. It is massive, absolutely massive. It was nowhere near this big when I finished it, so it blocks really, really well, this one. And yeah, and that is my finished Mystery MusiKAL shawl. So yeah, a great process, no controversy this year. My yarn was beautiful. The pattern was good. It's not my favorite. Shawlography is still absolutely my favorite, but it was very enjoyable. Aspects of it were a bit frustrating, but most of it was really, really good. And I really am happy with the end result. And I think it does very much evoke the Wicked vibes when you look at it. I think it's very on point for the theme, which was really good. So I'm very pleased to have that done. And I hope you enjoyed following along the process, because I enjoyed making these videos and sharing all my random thoughts about it. It does help me to remain motivated, I have to say, to get those last bits done. So yeah, but it's been really, really fun. Thank you to all the people in the chat group who we've helped each other out, we've motivated each other, we've given each other tips. It's been a lot of fun, and there's still lots of people in the chat group that are still working away, and it's really fun to watch everyone get through the shawl and help each other over the finish line. And thank you to everyone that's commented on the videos and liked the videos. I really appreciate that quite a lot, so thank you very much. I will leave it there, but let me know in the comments how you're going with your shawl, if you're knitting along, or if you're knitting along any of the other Stephen West shawls, particularly if you're going to knit along on the Fibre knit along. Are you going to join in on that? I don't think I will this year, but I have done his Fibre knit along before, so I do encourage it. It is a lot of fun. But yeah, but thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. I hope you have a lovely weekend and happy knitting. Bye.